السلام الملكي. به ذكر الرحمن مع القارئ الشيخ أحمد علي الشهري.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون. وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون. والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم. لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون. صدق الله العظيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أصحاب السمو، أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، الحضور الكريم، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. تعجز الكلمات عن ترجمة ما تكنه النفس من مشاعر الفخر والاعتزاز في هذا المحفل، محفل الابتكار والإبداع، يجتمع فيه ألمع وأذكى العقول في عالم التكنولوجيا. أتوا جميعاً من أرجاء الأرض لنحتفي سوياً بما تقدمه المملكة العربية السعودية، مملكة التقدم والوعي والإبداع، والتي شهدنا فيها من المفاخر والمنجزات ما نعتز به. واليوم نشهد إحداها، نقدمها لكم أنا سارة بنت عبد العزيز
وأنا عبدالله البندر. في هذه الليلة وفي هذا الحدث الكبير نفتتح وإياكم هاكاثون الحج، والمستمر حتى 3 من أغسطس المقبل. أما الآن نقدم لكم فيديو توضيحي عن هاكاثون الحج.
Hajj Hackathon is the largest in the Middle East, with the participation of global programmers and designers using their innovations and technology for improving the experience of Hajj pilgrims. To achieve the Vision Saudi Arabia 2030 from the 1st to the 3rd of August 2018, with prizes worth more than 2 million Saudi riyals. Hajj Hackathon from the Saudi Federation for Cybersecurity, Programming and Drones.
أيها الحفل الكريم، الكلمة الحدث في محفل الإبداع والابتكار للرئيس التنفيذي للاتحاد السعودي للأمن السيبراني والبرمجة والدرونز، الأستاذة نوف الراكان. فلتتفضل على المسرح مشكورة.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أصحاب السعادة، السيدات والسادة، أيها الحضور الكريم، مرحبا بكم في بلدكم الثاني، المملكة العربية السعودية، مهبط الوحي ومنبع رسالة الإسلام، رسالة التسامح والمحبة التي بدأت بإقرأ وحثت على العلم ونشرته في كل أصقاع المعمورة، الرسالة التي رفعت منزلة العلماء بل وجعلت العلم إرثاً وفضلاً للإنسان بعد مماته. لطالما كان هذا البلد ولا يزال حاضناً بكل الحب والود لملايين الزائرين والوافدين حجيجاً ومعتمرين، فقد اختص الله هذا البلد وأهله بشرف لا أعلى ولا أسمى منه، شرف خدمة الحرمين الشريفين، حيث يتسابق أهلها وحكامها في بذل الغالي والنفيس لكل ما من شأنه أن يجعل زيارة الحجيج سهلة ميسرة وبلا مشقة أو عناء، حيث أولت المملكة جل رعايتها واهتمامها لتطوير الحرمين الشريفين، واختص حكامها بلقب خادم الحرمين الشريفين ليجسد عمق اهتمامهم ورعايتهم لتلك الأمانة الإلهية. واليوم وبعد 1400 عام ويزيد على رسالة النبي المصطفى محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وفي ظل هذا الحكم الرشيد بقيادة مولاي خادم الحرمين الشريفين الملك سلمان بن عبد العزيز أيده الله، وسمو سيدي ولي العهد نائب رئيس مجلس الوزراء وزير الدفاع صاحب السمو الملكي الأمير محمد بن سلمان بن عبد العزيز حفظه الله، ننتقل لعصر جديد ليس لطموحه حدود، بل طموح يعانق عنان السماء، نفتح فيه الأبواب ونجمع فيه العقول لتبدع وتنشر علماً ينتفع به، ليخدم أعظم أركان الإسلام، منطلقاً من رؤية طموحة، رؤية المملكة 2030 التي جعلت من خدمة الحرمين الشريفين أصلاً ثابتاً وفصلاً يتجدد ليسمح لعالم التقنية أن يكون جزءاً أصيلاً من التجديد. ولكم أنتم أيها التقنيون أن تكونوا جزءاً من هذا الفصل وهذه التجربة، وأن تنتقلوا معنا في هذا الطموح. أيها الحضور الكريم، اسمحوا لي باسم جميع المختصين والمهتمين بالتقنية أن أرفع خالص الشكر والتقدير لمن يقف دائماً خلف نجاحاتنا بتوجيهه ودعمه اللامحدود، معالي المستشار بالديوان الملكي رئيس مجلس إدارة الاتحاد السعودي للأمن السيبراني والبرمجة والدرون سعود بن عبدالله القحطاني، الذي آمن بقدرتنا على تقديم الأفضل وبقدرتكم على إحداث فرق، منطلقاً من توجيه سمو سيدي ولي العهد أمير الشباب صاحب هذه الرؤية الطموحة التي ترتكز على الشباب وعطائهم وقدرتهم على التطوير والتحديث. ولا يسعني في ختام كلمتي إلا أن أشيد بهمة شبابنا من أبناء الوطن المعطاء القائمين معنا على هذه الفعالية، الذين واصلوا الليل بالنهار طوال هذه المدة، وللمتطوعين والمتطوعات وضيوفنا من المتحدثين والمرشدين والحكام والرعاة. باسم الاتحاد السعودي للأمن السيبراني والبرمجة والدرون، مرحبا بكم في هاكاثون الحج.
نشكر الأستاذة نوف الراكان الرئيس التنفيذي للاتحاد السعودي للأمن السيبراني والبرمجة والدرونز، ونتشرف بدعوة السيد جيمي ويلز مؤسس موقع ويكيبيديا على المسفل، يتفضل على المسرح مشكورا. Please welcome to the stage.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. It's really a fantastic honor to have been invited here. I think this event seems incredibly innovative and incredibly exciting, and I'm very excited to see how many people are here. Thousands of people here for this. If we go back to look at the very early start of my career, the very beginning of Wikipedia, the vision of Wikipedia is for all of us to imagine a world in which every single person on the planet is given free access to the sum of all human knowledge. And that's what we're doing at Wikipedia. We have thousands and thousands of people, volunteers all over the world, who are working really hard to share knowledge with each other, to try to be useful, to try to be productive. The values of Wikipedia include the values of thoughtfulness, the values of tolerance, the values of trying to understand the world. And I think that those values are really important for the future of the world. We live in very, very difficult times, and unless we can understand each other, we have very little hope of actually solving the problems before us. And one of the things that's really powerful about the way Wikipedia works is that Wikipedia is a genuine community. People who know each other, people who work together. Well, they're people, so sometimes they have a fight and then they solve their problems together. It isn't perfectly ideal all the times, but that's what communities are all about. And what does that mean for an event like this? For me, one of the most important things for a country that has great ambitions to become a tech hub of the Middle East is the importance of the tech community. And one of the great things about a hackathon, you get together and you're together for 48 hours, 36 hours, however long you're spending together, and you're making friendships and you're bonding. And of course, not all the projects will work. Many of the projects will fail, but in the process, as you're here, for all of those young developers out there who are thinking of a career in tech and who are thinking of becoming entrepreneurs, keep an eye out on the other teams. Don't be too competitive against them. Be collaborative with them. And thinking about all the interesting people you'll meet here who are on different teams who you've never met before, who you say, wow, this person has great ideas, or this person has a skill that I don't have. And if we can work together in the future, this event will have become a great success, not because of what happened here, but because of the friendships that we made here. It's really important for a country like Saudi Arabia, and I know that it's a great ambition of the leadership of the country to diversify the economy away from oil. Oil, of course, is a great blessing in many ways. It has brought great wealth to the country, but as we know, it isn't forever, and it isn't necessarily the healthiest stream of revenue when you really want to think about a diverse economy, a strong economy, where prosperity is spread throughout society in a way that's healthy and makes you into a leader in the world. And so for that, of course, the values of tolerance, the values of knowledge, the values of learning as much as we can about the world and about each other is really core to that. You cannot diversify the economy without a well-educated population who understands the world and understands things. I just wanted to give a small shout out. I was really pleased to see a tweet from the organizers in support of the female developers who are here, and I'm really cheering for some of the female developer teams to do really well. In tech, of course, we have a really serious problem of a lack of female talent throughout the entire industry, and it's fantastic to see that here women are being supported in the idea of programming and technology as a career, and I think that's an amazing and a wonderful thing. The thing I'm going to close with is actually something that I think is really interesting. Often people think a lot about how do we compete with Silicon Valley. Of course, it's very difficult to compete against Silicon Valley. It is incredibly well funded. It is incredibly well organized. It has a long history, an entrepreneurial culture. But one of the things that is really important about Silicon Valley is that the young engineers straight out of Stanford, so people like Larry Page and Sergey Brin, the people who are coming from Harvard like Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg, what they're really good at is solving the problems that they face. The next generation of great software engineers in Silicon Valley are going to solve issues or improve things for themselves. It's only natural. You can only solve a problem that you're aware of. And what I thought was really clever about this event is to say, let's set improving the situation, improving the experience of all the millions of visitors who come for the Hajj is really an interesting topic because it's something that Silicon Valley will never think about. Or if they do think about it, they'll only think about it in a very generic event management way. And here you have an opportunity to say, no, actually, technology is local. There's a way that we can do something that's really interesting and really symbolic that no one from anywhere other than Saudi Arabia can really grasp and understand what does that mean. So congratulations for all the teams that are about to get started and have a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you Mr. Wales. نشكر السيد جيمي ويلز مؤسس موقع ويكيبيديا. أما في هذه اللحظات نتابع فيديو بعنوان فج عميق.
تسألوني وين رايح؟
قبلها لازم تعرفوا أنا مين،
شو هو شغفي
وإيش طموحاتي.
إحنا عايشين في عالم التقنية فيه بقت جزء أساسي،
وأنا جزء من عالم يتوقف أحياناً لتسمو روحه.
mar walbana waxaan ku jira raadin joogto ah fursadaha ii suuragelinayo aniga waxaan ahay ama ii xaqiijinayo aniga waxaan ahay.
If you ask me where I was going,
मेरे अबू पिछले साल हज पे गए थे। हमने उनका पुरजोश इस्तकबाल किया। उन्होंने हमें लाजवाब कहानियां सुनाई।
كل من حج رجع يحكي لنا عن أسمى لحظات الخشوع والإيمان، عن أحسن استقبال وقائمة لا تنتهي من الخدمات الجليلة في كل مجال.
هذا الشيء تعودنا عليه ونشأنا أنه واجبنا اللي نفتخر فيه.
مجرد التفكير أنك تخدم أكثر من 2 مسلم يحجون كل سنة يشعل في داخلك طاقات لا حدود لها.
حجك وماشى فرصتها آدك أقوى.
وفي 1 أغسطس سأكون أقرب من أي وقت من هذه الفرص.
تسألوني رايح فين؟
جاني الإيميل وعرفت أني سأشارك في أضخم حدث تقني للمبرمجين على مستوى العالم،
وهيكون معايا عقول شابة متميزة من كل أنحاء العالم.
الحدث اللي تقيمه المملكة العربية السعودية مهبط الوحي وقبلة المسلمين.
المملكة اللي نعيش فيها تحول وبناء لاقتصاد يعتمد على الابتكار
ودعم غير محدود للشباب في مختلف المجالات ومنها مجال التقنية.
إذا سألتوني وين رايحة،
तुम पूछते हो कि मैं कहाँ जा रही हूँ? मैं अपने जैसे काबिल डेवलपर से मुकाबला करने जा रही हूँ
عشان أحقق مشروع حياتي.
أنا رايح أبني المستقبل وأساهم في تطوير تجربة ملايين المسلمين.
أنا رايحة
لهاكاثون الحج.
أنا رايح لهاكاثون الحج.
أنا رايحة لهاكاثون الحج.
والآن يسعدنا دعوة الأستاذ عصام ذكير نائب محافظ هيئة المنشآت الصغيرة والمتوسطة لريادة الأعمال لتقديم كلمته، فليتفضل مشكورا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، وبعد. معالي المستشار بالديوان الملكي، رئيس مجلس إدارة الاتحاد السعودي للأمن السيبراني والبرمجة والدرونز الأستاذ سعود القحطاني، معالي وزير الاتصالات المهندس عبدالله السواحه، أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، الحفل الكريم، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. انطلاقاً من الرؤية الطموحة التي أولت الصناعة التقنية جزءاً كبيراً من مبادراتها، حيث أصبح التحول الرقمي ممكناً أساسياً لجميع القطاعات وعناصر منظومة العلوم والتقنية والابتكار في المملكة، من أجل رفع كفاءة الإنتاجية وتعزيز القدرة التنافسية. كما أن ما تشهده اقتصاديات دول العالم في العقد الأخير من ثورة تقنية عززت وتيرة التحول من اقتصاد تقليدي إلى اقتصاد قائم على المعرفة والابتكار، أسهمت بشكل مباشر في تعزيز نمو هذه الاقتصادات، إضافة إلى مساهمتها في هذا التحول في مجال المنشآت الصغيرة والمتوسطة وتحسين تنافسية الاقتصاد المحلي. دعماً لذلك، عملت الهيئة العامة للمنشآت الصغيرة والمتوسطة منشآت على العديد من البرامج والمبادرات لدعم الابتكار والتقنية وريادة الأعمال، منها على سبيل المثال لا الحصر إطلاق تنظيم مستقل بنشاط الحاضنات والمسرعات يكفل لها أداء مهامها بطريقة مبتكرة ومستمرة، وإيجاد بيئة مناسبة للاستثمار على المستوى المحلي والعالمي. إضافة إلى ذلك، أصدرت منشآت ترخيصاً خاصاً بحاضنات الأعمال بهدف تنظيم عملها في المملكة، حيث تم الترخيص لأكثر من 35 حاضنة حول المملكة حتى الآن، وتقدم العديد من الحلول التمويلية بالتعاون مع شركائها من القطاع الحكومي والخاص، في مقدمتها تأسيس صندوق رأس مال جريء بمبلغ 2.8 مليار ريال لدعم المنشآت المبتكرة والناشئة. كما تعمل منشآت حالياً على إنشاء مراكز للابتكار التي تقدم العديد من البرامج في تحليل البيانات والذكاء الصناعي والابتكار في إنترنت الأشياء، مما يساهم في نمو هذه الشركات من خلال الابتكار وقيادة المنشآت إلى إضافة حلول ابتكارية لمواجهة التحديات، إيماناً منها بأهمية هذا الحدث الكبير الذي يستقطب العقول الرائدة من حول العالم، ومواصلة لجهود المملكة العربية السعودية في خدمة ضيوف الرحمن طوال السنوات الماضية. يسعدنا في منشآت تقديم 20 مقعداً في حاضنات الأعمال لأفضل 20 مطور سعودي في هاكاثون الحج. وتشارك منشآت في هذا الحدث مع اتحاد الأمن السيبراني في تهيئة بيئة ابتكارية تدعم الطاقات الشابة وتوفير الفرص المتنوعة لها وتحقيق مستهدفات رؤية المملكة 2030. إخواني رواد الأعمال، اسمحوا لي أتكلم بلهجتهم الحين. هذا الحدث حدث عالمي لا يوجد مثله في العالم، لأنه لا يوجد مكان كراود مانجمنت سيستم يحتوي على 2 مليون شخص في نفس الوقت في نفس المكان. فهذه فرصتكم. السعودية فتحت أيديها وفتحت كل طاقاتها للعقول الشابة السعودية وغير السعودية، لأي شخص رائد أعمال يكون قيمة مضافة لهذا البلد المعطاء. في الختام أتقدم بالشكر الجزيل للاتحاد السعودي للأمن السيبراني برعاية معالي الأستاذ سعود القحطاني وكافة القائمين والداعمين لفعالية هاكاثون الحج، مع أهمية تضافر هذه الجهود لتكون ذات أثر عالي وتفتح آفاقا جديدة لبلدنا الجميل المعطاء لتعزيز نمو اقتصاده الوطني. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
نشكر الأستاذ عصام ذكير نائب محافظ هيئة المنشآت الصغيرة والمتوسطة لريادة الأعمال. المملكة العربية السعودية بوابة التقنية الصاعدة هو عنوان جلستنا الحوارية، والتي يقدمها لكم الأستاذ فيصل الخميسي عضو مجلس إدارة الاتحاد. وضيوف الجلسة هم معالي المهندس عبدالله السواحه وزير الاتصالات وتقنية المعلومات السعودي، السيد ستيف ووزنياك شريك مؤسس شركة أبل، الأستاذ عبدالرحمن بن مطرب شريك مؤسس شركة الطيار، وأيضا الأستاذ عبدالرحمن الطربزوني الرئيس التنفيذي لSTV. فليتفضلوا لبدء الجلسة.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us tonight in what could be the largest hackathon in the world. It's my honor to be the moderator for this discussion. And let me begin by introducing our distinguished guests. We have His Excellency, Engineer Abdullah Swaha, the Minister of Communication and Information Technology. We have Mr. Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple. We have Mr. Jimmy Wales, the founder of Wikipedia. We have Mr. Abdulrahman Tarabzouni, the CEO of STV, and Abdulrahman bin Mutrab, the co-founder of Tayar Ventures. In this panel, I have a decision maker, two people who changed the world, and 2 local entrepreneurs. I'll start, and our topic tonight is Saudi Arabia, the emerging tech hub of the region. I will start with the decision maker. Your Excellency, why do you think Saudi Arabia is positioned to be a regional tech hub?
بداية مساكم الله بالخير، حياكم الله، واستأذنكم بالحديث الليلة باللغة الإنجليزية احتراما لضيوفنا. Today I have the absolute pleasure of being part of 2 historic events. The custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz, at the beginning of Vision 2030 said, "We are on a journey." الله يعطيك العافية. مولاي خادم الحرمين الشريفين, King Salman bin Abdulaziz, at the beginning of Vision 2030 said, "We are on a journey to do 2 things. Reform the present and shape the future." And today I had the pleasure of being part of these 2 events. This morning, I had the pleasure of being part of the first Council of Ministers in the city of Neom. A city that the Crown Prince last year had envisioned that it was a dream, and today it became a reality. A city that its energy will be renewable. Its industry will be augmented with AI and robotics. And it's a testimony that we are on that journey to making things happen. I also have the pleasure of being part of shaping the present as well. Today we're sending a message loud and clear to the world that we're not only the heart of the Arab and the Muslim world, but indeed in the 4th Industrial Revolution, we are the heart of the Arab and the Muslim world for innovation, for technology, and for entrepreneurship. And with this opportunity, I want to thank His Excellency, Mr. Sa'ud al-Qahطani, and Faisal and Nouf, and what a fantastic speech you have delivered today for making this event happen. And I could not be more proud and privileged to be part of it. But let me share with you more stories, because we have a lot to celebrate as a nation. Because in the 4th Industrial Revolution, and I believe Steve and Jimmy is gonna do a far better job talking about the 4th Industrial Revolution than I could, but the rules of competitiveness have changed. It's no longer about our ability to compete, but we can lead and leapfrog. Because it's no longer about historical records. It's no longer about the largest assets. It's about our ability to execute with speed and entrepreneurship like no other. Let me share with you 2 stories, and then I'll hand over to Steve. At the beginning of Vision 2030, we had a goal. And I'm pulling my smartphone for a reason. The goal was to achieve a vibrant society. A society where we tackle things like education, healthcare, smart cities. And the initial thinking was that by 2020, we're going to double the number of patient-to-doctor visits from 2 to 4. We're going to reduce doctor waiting time from months to weeks. But that was linear thinking. Because with how a young, vibrant, entrepreneurial society we are, bringing talent and technology for innovation and impact, we actually realized with digitization, with a hackathon such as this, we were able to bring decision makers, the private sector, entrepreneurs, to develop a mobile app for the healthcare industry called Sahhi, out of which not only we met the KPI of 2020 in 2018, but we were able to do 50% of all doctor visits through telemedicine and telecare. And the icing on the cake, we were able to reduce doctor waiting times from months to weeks to minutes. And the cherry on the top, that we realized, as we empower patients and doctors with second opinion services from their smartphone, we were able to reduce doctor errors in some cases by 90%. The second example is how are we going about a thriving economy. And the way I look at it, it's a digital economy. So a thriving economy, the backbone of it is the youth, the entrepreneurs, the SMEs in any society. And a digital economy is the digital foundation. So at the beginning of 2017, we launched a $3 billion digital package, a stimulus package to build the foundation, the broadband. We tripled internet speed. We connected more homes, close to 500,000, more clinics, more hospitals than we have ever achieved in the past 3 years. And we were able to make Saudi open for business. In 2016, it used to take us 81 days to open up a business. In 17, it came down to 18 days. Today, as of Q1 of 2018, it takes a single day through a digital platform called Miras. And this is only the beginning.
Mr. Wozniak, fourth revolution, tech hub. You have been in the Silicon Valley from day one. Isn't this a big promise? I mean,
I'm going to pass you the mic anyways.
There is even a street named after you there. Is it possible to create another Silicon Valley? What would it take to be there?
It's absolutely possible to create another Silicon Valley. A lot of the environment that made Silicon Valley happen where it is wasn't some kind of special thinking or special people. It was a lot due to accidents that our entire digital world today, all of the products are based on chips. And the chips can have billions of transistors. Transistors made out of silicon were the key to everything. Starting 60 years ago, the inventor, one of the inventors of the transistor, moved to Silicon Valley and started a company. It had problems, but it spun out other companies and more companies. And as Moore's Law caused the amount of work that transistors could do for us in our lives to increase and increase over the decades, Silicon Valley was a huge economic success. We had an early start. Do I say you have to have an early start and be first? That's a lot less important today in the days of the internet and such incredible speed improvements that we have, parts and resources available everywhere if you have access to a computer. So we've changed a lot. A lot of places in the world are asking, how do we become a Silicon Valley? And the answer is, you don't copy the way Silicon Valley is. You have to be a leader. You have to lead some way, not be a follower. And it has to grow organically. It has to come from your own ideas, your own successes, and your own desire to build. I taught for a lot of years in my life. I actually taught in public schools, and it was less important what you knew. Knowledge, that's important. But it became less important than wanting to do something, wanting to achieve something, wanting to make a new kind of product or a service or a program. If you want to badly, and you've got enough smarts, you'll look around, you'll find other people to talk to, you'll get answers, you'll join up with friends, and you'll start little companies. So entrepreneurship, before companies like Apple, it was only big companies, established managers, established executives spinning out other new startup companies doing roughly the same thing. As we heard before, if you're doing roughly the same thing, even if you're doing it better, that isn't really true invention. It doesn't really move the world forward. It's really finding ways to do new things that have never been done in ways they've never been done, and it is very, very hard to do. So once we came along to the times of personal computers, and they didn't seem to have a promise. A personal computer, when we started Apple, it really didn't have much meaning except to a very, very few people that knew how to program computers, and it was only for fun, pretty much. It didn't solve problems and show its value for at least a year after we started the company. And so all the big computer companies said, we don't need these little machines. They just won't do the jobs that our users use. Our users are our market research. And so we were free to have young people that believed there might be a future or believed they could do something, whether it had an economic future or not. People like myself and Steve Jobs and Paul Allen and Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg and others, all of a sudden, very young people with different thinking of something that never existed before had a platform to develop it on. We built personal computers, we started companies, so the idea of entrepreneurs grew. When we were starting Apple, all the universities had business schools, Now all those business schools have entrepreneurial programs and a lot of people that want to get involved in a startup someday. I used to say the most fun 4 years of your life are college. You know, you're struggling to get through, you're learning a lot of things, you're taking a lot of tests. It's, you know, a lot of pressure on you too. But now I say the most fun you could ever have in your life is if you get involved with a startup, even if you don't have a college degree, and you're working so hard on a dream to try to make something that didn't exist, and it may not have money and it may, and I often say that not making money, building a product that isn't worth a company and a lot of money is a type of failure that leads you to the next step. You always learn in your mind, even from your failures, your mind is better at achieving the next problems. How to be a leader? Saudi Arabia, a lot of countries are talking the talk. We want to be the next Silicon Valley. To be a leader, you do have to have some education. You should build a hub around universities and university programs that can do a lot of engineering. Engineering is often left out of the formula by business people, and it's a big mistake. But you know, build that and have young people. Young people aren't entrapped to the ways of the past and the ways things are done. They're able to think out a lot newer thoughts. Startups often fail. So you need venture capital, and venture capital can be encouraged by taxation rules for young startups and capital gains and things like that. It can be encouraged by companies to attract a lot of the starting companies to move to Saudi Arabia and start here. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jimmy, with big challenges, there is the possibility of failure, and you yourself admitted the failure of Wikipedia. Is failure a bad thing?
So I think it's, I'll tell the story very quickly. So before Wikipedia, I had a project called Nupedia. It was the same vision to have a free encyclopedia for everyone, but I didn't really know how to do it. And so we hired a PhD in philosophy, and we designed a very top-down, very controlled, very academic system to get anything published. And it was very intimidating. And so we had volunteers who were very eager, and the dream was exciting to them, a free encyclopedia for everyone, but the actual work wasn't fun. And so Nupedia failed, but out of that failure came Wikipedia, where we went completely in the other direction and said, well, let's just relax all the rules to get started. Let's just start writing and see what happens. And then obviously we had to change things over the years and grow and mature and so forth. And I think one of the things that's really important when we think about the culture of innovation, the culture of successful becoming a Silicon Valley, one of the things that you really have to get to is it's okay to fail. That it's better to try and experiment, and it may not work out, and to fail than it is to not have tried in the first place. And a lot of places really struggle with this culturally. Young people seem to get it fairly early on, but it's usually their aunties and uncles and you know, the family pressure and older people saying, oh, why don't you just get a job at a big company? Why are you wasting your time on this thing? And I think once you culturally come to the idea, I mean, I know for me, it was a moment, I was on the cover of Fast Company magazine, and they called me Google's worst nightmare, which was, it was never true, but my mother bought 10 copies of the magazine. And I think this was the first moment when she really thought, oh, okay, it's, you know, he's not a banker, but this seems all right in the end. And so I do think that we have to encourage that. I mean, you know, in Silicon Valley, there's new startups all the time, and they go out of business all the time. But what grows out of those is new experiences, new talents. People learn. You definitely learn a lot more in a year of struggling through a failure than you will working in a bank. You know, doing a job that's well set out for you, and you just do what you're supposed to do. And so, if the companies can understand that, you know, if you do a startup in Silicon Valley and it fails, your next step is you probably get a better job at Google than you would have if you didn't have that experience, or at Apple or somewhere like this, because they look for people who have creativity and interesting ideas and that innovative kind of spirit. And culturally, that's hard to get to. I mean, it really has to be communicated a lot to people. Like, we actually want young people trying experiments, and they won't all work out, of course, but that's okay. That's, you know, we can get through that. And so for me, one of the things I always say about my own career, the things I've had many failures. Of course, Wikipedia is very famous, but even since Wikipedia, I've done ideas that were bad. And I mean, even Apple has launched a few products that didn't work out, of course, you know. And that's...
search engine also.
Pardon?
There is the search engine, which you guys try to do.
Yeah. There's all kinds of things. And basically what you find in the end is that for me as an entrepreneur, I feel like if I'm not starting something that's hard and challenging that might fail, I'm probably not trying hard enough. And I think that's really important. And culturally, that's one of the most important lessons, is that, you know, failure is the path to success, really.
Mr. Tarabzoni, you have been in the Silicon Valley, you worked at Google for some time, and you left that and came to Saudi. Why did you do that?
So the short answer to the question is change was in the air, right? In many ways, my generation and, you know, a generation before me and probably half a generation after me, we lived in a time where we were told what to do and to always respect the status quo, right? And in many ways, you know, this significantly changed over the last few years. New leadership, new blood, new vision, and, you know, tremendous willingness, firepower, zeal, tenacity to say everything that was Saudi Arabia before, that we did not think reached Saudi Arabia's true potential, can change, right? And this was a massive change of direction, attitude, and a strong message that I think very powerfully trickled down to many of us. I was in the Valley. I was, you know, working at, you know, Google 7 years, and I really just saw myself spending the rest of my life in what I consider to be the capital of the world, and everything that I considered I'm passionate about and cool, and move the needle to serve humanity through tech that can scale globally. But then you start realizing, you know, this change and the support that comes with it just puts a mandate on you to go back and try to figure out where you can be of value. And when you look at Saudi Arabia, Saudi has such an amazing story when it comes to its potential from a digital opportunity point of view that is, you know, groundbreaking even on a global scale. And let me share with you some statistics. Saudi Arabia as a country punches above its weight on almost every single hot digital category in today's digital landscape. It is 2 times its fair weight in the global economy when it comes to e-commerce. It is more than 3 times its fair weight when it comes to social media usage. It is more than 7 times its fair weight globally when it comes to video streaming consumption. Tremendous figures. Now, when you look at the supply side of the equation paints a different story. That a lot of this demand and this value that is being created in Saudi Arabia is essentially leaking to global players that are not necessarily based in Saudi Arabia. And this, for any venture capitalist, any technologist, raises a number of questions, right? What is going on? Why is this happening? How are the global players seizing this opportunity better than homegrown indigenous players are? And then you realize that this gap closure will generate tremendous value from a capital, returns, human capital perspective. You name it. So this was a massive magnet, right? In many ways, to close that gap, you're saying, I'm going to create a lot of value for the country, and I'm going to localize a lot of these jobs, and I'm going to create a new breed of Saudi entrepreneurs who are going to go all in, sleeve up, and make this happen. The second thing we noticed when we started looking at the market in Saudi Arabia in particular, Saudi Arabia, in terms of venture capital availability in the market, has a lot of room to grow, which is a fantastic thing. Because Saudi does not have to only 2x or 3x or 5x the amount of venture capital available today in the market to reach global economies like the US or Israel. They have to essentially 20 to 30 times multiply the amount of venture capital available today to get to the levels where the economy starts humming. And again, this is a tremendous opportunity. This capital, along with the gap closure on the first topic we discussed, is a magnet for anyone who wants to come in and create value for Saudi Arabia and the region. And the last thing I'm going to say is, in many ways, Saudi Arabia has the lion's share of the economic value and activity of the Middle East and North Africa region. And we've seen this in many plays in the region, where if a digital play cracks the Saudi Arabian market, it has a shot at becoming the default champion for the Middle Eastern market. And if they crack the Middle Eastern market, they have a fair shot at becoming the champion of emerging markets. And this is the thesis of the fund we're now establishing. Go and create the local champions in white spaces in Saudi Arabia, where you can create local value, empower them to go after Middle East, and if they take a good shot at that, potentially and hopefully you're going to create digital defaults that will become emerging markets champions.
Mr. Abdulrahman, you guys invested in Kareem, Musafir, Wadi. We have thousands of developers who could produce stuff. When it comes to investing in a startup, what is it you focus on? Is it the idea, people? Please tell us.
Thank you very much. Hello? Hello? Do you hear me? Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank the Federation for organizing this amazing event today. I'm really proud to see such huge demand and amazing interest in such an event that's happening the first time in Saudi, maybe in the region. I've been told there is about 22,000 people who have applied for this event. 22,000 have shown interest for this event. Is amazing. Also, I've seen like we have 3,000 to 4,000 people today in this hackathon. As long as I know, this is the first time in the whole region people have came together in one place to be in such hackathon. So I'm really proud. I'm really proud of the achievement that we have done as a country and as a federation. So back to your question in terms of what should we advise those guys today attending this hackathon. I think the first simple advice would be make sure that you have a valid idea, you have a valid business case, you have a scalable business. Make sure that you share your ideas with some friends and colleagues who have done this before. I think the most important thing also after that is that you gather some co-founders who have done a similar startup. Try to find co-founders who have not necessarily the same talent, but complementary talent. If you are strong in a financial background, try to find someone who's technical. If you are technical, try to find people who are marketing, commercially capable people. I think as a startup as a whole, because we in the region, we are not like Silicon Valley, 60 years old. We've been like 10, 15 years old in the startup scene. People tend to underestimate how much fun they need, especially the first 12 or 24 months. And this is dangerous because if you run out of funding, it's going to be a bit difficult to continue funding your startup. The last but not the least, you need to have the proper access to talent. I think this is one of the greatest risks that we have in this region is access to talent, to be honest. And for your startup, I advise everyone here, either in this hackathon or outside the hackathon, you need to be able to tap into a continuous stream of talents, because the moment you scale up, you're going to add more resources. Yeah, so all in all, I believe our experience in this area is not as big as the rest, but I think we can add a lot of value by sharing ideas just like what we are doing today here tonight.
Your Excellency, in one sentence, what are the goals, opportunity and challenges for Saudi in this area?
If you don't mind, I'll use a couple of sentences. So when it comes to the goal, and His Excellency always relates to it, every time we present something to the Crown Prince, a proposal, a story, an idea, he always challenges us by asking us to think big and specific. So the goal in everything that we do, we're a G20 nation. We're the 19th largest economy. A third of the population of the globe looks up to this nation. So the goal in everything what we do, whether it's in cybersecurity, whether it's in digitization, whether it's in ICT, to be top 20 by 2030. That's the goal. In terms of the largest opportunity, I believe we're going to have to build, enable, and innovate. During the build phase, I think the biggest opportunity that we have is business model innovation. So our opportunity to disrupt red tape and create red carpets. And I've shared with you examples of ease of doing business and so forth. The challenge, and I think surprisingly, we have done a fantastic job on the social reform. So today, women empowerment, women's in stadiums, women driving, we have done and gone a long way when it comes to social reform. But from a digital context and from a technology context, there's a couple of key takeaways. One of the challenges that we're faced with, that I have the privilege of working on and translating it to an opportunity, is to the VC community. How could I convince them that it's not only about profit, it's about profit and a purpose. It's about betting on people, ideas that are going to fail but eventually will succeed, as Steve had mentioned. It's the opportunity to take dreams and realize them into a reality. So to me, talent, capacity, and the opportunity to introduce cultural change is the biggest challenge, yet the biggest opportunity.
Mr. Steve, you sold your calculator. Your partner, Steve Jobs, sold his car in order to start Apple. That demonstrates a seriousness and how serious you guys are about this. But that leads me to another question. Is it possible for someone working in a full-time job to create a startup at the same time? Or do you actually need to be fully dedicated and have sacrifices like what you guys did?
Well, we're going back to some very early times when Steve Jobs and I were so young. We sold the most valuable possessions we had in our life. I sold my Hewlett-Packard calculator for $500. My car I had bought for $300 from Steve Jobs' father. So this was, we absolutely put our lives into it. Did we put our lives into it thinking, oh, this is going to lead to something big, it's going to lead to big money? No, we were putting ourselves into being a company, having a chance, trying something, not being sure of the results, especially myself. The main thing is you have to have desires and feelings, motivations, inspiration that you are going to make a product that is going to help change people's lives, give them a better life, give them easier lives, give them more things than they could ever imagine, and give them some level of autonomy, some level to be their own boss, some level to make things themselves rather than, working for someone else. We were going to give that. You would be the master of your fate and your decisions rather than your company that owned a computer. Computers could do amazing things for people that they could never do. When we sold our little personal projects, including my calculator, that was the first start of Apple. A little dinky, tiny start. I didn't even leave my job as an engineer, and they call it the garage days. It was the humility days. And we didn't even start a computer company at first. It was just to build one little part. The real Apple started later on, and we had some professional wisdom added to our youth. Of course, this was my life's passion, to own a computer of my own someday. I had thought about it for ever since I was a young child, and I would know how to use it, and other people wouldn't. That was a passion. It was a drive. Steve Jobs wanted to be important, and you had to have a company to be important. We needed different facets to be successful. We needed business thinking, marketing, and engineering. I had the engineering. Steve Jobs had drive in every direction. Whatever needed doing, we're going to find a way to do it. And he used his common sense as our business drive. You know, he wanted to have a successful business. And our funder, who owned as much stock as us, was the adult. He was a marketing expert, and he taught us the principles of marketing. Mike Markula was his name. So professional people around us made a huge difference, but our lives went into that. It's what I would have been doing day and night. When I went home from work at Hewlett-Packard, I would be working at home on my Apple projects. And when I left Hewlett-Packard, I just got to work all day long and day and night on the projects that I loved so much. Largely it was for me. As Jimmy has pointed out, you know, products that you're making in your own field, you know what's good, what's not about a product, what is simple enough and what is too complicated. If you have the right sort of mind, what is elegant and beautiful. So that was our really start. Now, I look at young entrepreneurs today. A lot of them go out and they have a business training. I could write a spreadsheet. I can hire some engineers somewhere else in the world, maybe Saudi Arabia, and I'll get my project done after I get it funded, and then I'll move on and fund the next project. That isn't the sort of thinking that I believe in or that we had with Apple starting. We were really doing something that was going to change the world. Every one of us could speak about why it was so important. I'm going to add something else. I wanted to do anything I could in technology, whether it was made direct money or not. And one time a fellow came into Apple, wanted to build one for the European television system, very early days. And it went through our company, and I said, sure, I'll do it, and sat down and designed the thing over a week, and it wrenched my head. You have to be willing to work so hard in programming and in engineering to solve the last problem to make something work. Another gentleman walked in, I want to tell this story, walked in and he came straight to me. I don't even think he went through the company business people. I didn't do the business. And he said, could you make a version of this computer, the Apple II, that works with the Arabic language? Wow, I was so excited. Another great project. Every project I worked on in my life, I remember and love to this day. Unless I've forgotten them, I still love them if you mention them. And it was called the Air Apple, and I made character generators for the Arab characters, and they went from right to left on the screen. And if one character, certain characters were at the end of a word, they had to extend themselves. And it was one of the most fun projects. He sold a lot of those in Saudi Arabia, believe it or not. It was called the Air Apple quite a few decades ago. So thank you very much.
Mr. Jimmy, you know, Steve created the first personal computer before having a degree. And Wikipedia, which is the most important knowledge or source of knowledge today, doesn't give a degree. Matter of fact, a lot of teachers hate it. They tell their students, don't bring me a research based on Wikipedia articles. So, is a degree important for success or for knowledge?
Yeah, I do think so. I think degrees are important, but they're not the only path. And I think if a degree is just a piece of paper, then it's not as valuable as a degree where you actually learn something. But sometimes a piece of paper gets you in the door, and that's actually worth doing. So one of the things I always talk about is, you know, you can say, well, you know, Bill Gates dropped out of school, and Mark Zuckerberg, and you know, but a lot of people didn't, right? And those are very unusual circumstances. What I think is really much more important, though, if you look globally at the number of people who are graduating from university all around the world, it's going up a little here and there, down some places, mostly up, but it's no revolution. nothing dramatically is changing about that. More people are getting education. What is radically changed in the last 20, 30 years is the ability for people to engage in lifelong learning, the ability to go online. I recently went online and I watched a course about English history because I moved to England, and so I live in London, and I wanted to learn more about English history, and I just watched a free online course, and it was enjoyable, and it was really easy to do. And that's easy to do for all kinds of things. If you want to learn to program, if you want to learn to pick a new, a very popular framework, Ruby on Rails, everything you need to know to learn Ruby on Rails is online. You can go online, and in a few months' time of hard work, you can be a Rails developer. Maybe not a great one, but a pretty good one. So the important thing in school is to teach yourself how to learn, because we were chatting beforehand, and to echo his point about desire, it's like, if there's a piece of knowledge you don't have, you can get that knowledge as long as you've got the desire. I bet you knew nothing about Arabic characters before you started that project, but somebody said to you, oh, here's an interesting thought, and of course, as a geek, you're like, oh wow, like I literally have no idea how to do that. But there's got to be a way, and I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn about the Arabic character set and how what's right to left and so on. And that's the spirit of innovation. And so I'd never be a person to say, I know Peter Thiel had this thing. He was going to get some young people and just give them money for a startup and tell them not to go to college. I would never say that. I think you should go to university, especially if you're not sure what else you're doing. It's a good place to sit, some of the most fun you'll ever have. But ultimately, it's that ability to learn when you want to learn. That's what's going to carry you through your whole life.
Your Excellency, do you have any word? Do you have a message for the young generation?
نتكلم بالإنجليزي بس أعدك إن حننهي باللغة الإنجليزية. إحنا اليوم عندنا فرصة تاريخية. مولاي خادم الحرمين الشريفين أعيد وأكرر قال إحنا ماضين وماضون لتطوير الحاضر وبناء المستقبل. سمو سيدي ولي العهد ذكر إن كل عناصر النجاح موجودة، الإرادة السياسية، القيادة، الطموح، ولكن أهم عنصر في النجاح هم أنتم. أرجوكم 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 نغتنم هذه الفرصة لكتابة التاريخ وصناعة المستقبل. وعدتك باللغة الإنجليزية. I would like to take this opportunity to give a standing ovation to His Excellency Saud القحطاني, Nouf, Faisal, and the whole Saudi Federation team, Abdullah Sharaf, for doing a fantastic job today. So please join me.
أكيد الشكر واصلنا من معالي الوزير. وأكيد نشكر ضيوفنا الكرام على الطرح الرائع، والأستاذ فيصل خميسي على إدارة هذه الجلسة عضو مجلس إدارة الاتحاد، والتي كانت بعنوان المملكة العربية السعودية بوابة التقنية الصاعدة. أما الآن ضيوفنا الكرام يسرنا الإعلان عن رعاة الهاكاثون الأكبر عالمياً.
نعم، هاكاثون الحج برعاية الهيئة العامة للرياضة. شركة أرامكو السعودية، الخطوط السعودية، الهيئة العامة للمنشآت الصغيرة والمتوسطة منشآت،
وأيضا جوجل، مجموعة MBC بنفس الحماس. سكاي نيوز عربية
أيضا بنفس الحماس.
العربية للإعلانات الخارجية.
شركة أم القرى للتنمية والإعمار. شركة ثقة لخدمات الأعمال. وأيضا المسافر. شركة الاتصالات السعودية STC.
وبوبا للتأمين. وفنادق ومنتجعات دلة. أيضا الحميضي للساعات. وشركة جبل عمر للتطوير.
وأيضا شركة مدوام. سما نور شركة التعليم والتدريب الإلكتروني. وأيضا رايز أب. شركة البيك للأنظمة الغذائية.
وشركة الخطوط السعودية للتموين. وأيضا مايسترو بيتزا. ومياه نوفا. الحضور الكريم، شكرا لكل من حضر وشارك في إحياء هذا الحفل، ونشكر أيضا الفريق الإعلامي على جهودهم في تغطية أضخم حدث تقني، ونرجو التوفيق من الله سبحانه وتعالى لجميع المتسابقين غدا بإذن الله، وبذلك نكون قد شارفنا على ختام حفلنا هذا.
نعم سارة، وقبل الختام حضورنا الكريم نعرض لكم فيديو رؤية 2030.
بكم في هاكاثون الحج.